This is 2 Minutes Together, a ministry of Central Lutheran Church, Eugene, Oregon. I'm Pastor Ben. This week, we celebrate Holy Trinity Sunday. There's a lot of things that we think about with respect to the Holy Trinity. I'm standing here next to an icon of Hagia Sophia, recognizing Jesus as fully God, a big component of the Trinitarian conversations in the first several centuries of Christianity. But when we talk about the Trinity, I wonder what you think of. Some of you might think about different metaphors about the Trinity, but I wonder how many of you think about the Trinity as helpful in your own faith life. I think sometimes when we think about the doctrine of the Trinity, what we end up thinking about is that there was some hard theological work that had to happen for how Jesus can be God and how for God the Creator to be God and how they can be both God and yet not two gods, and then add the Holy Spirit in there. And it's just something that we needed to kind of work out on paper. I would guess some of you might think that way. Maybe not all. But there's something else about the doctrine of the Trinity. There's a reason why this is such a big deal in Christian tradition. And it's because of what we believe about who our God is and how that God works in our lives. It's not just an academic discussion of how do we figure out how these three, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, and God the Creator, fit together, but instead, how do we, as fallible humans, know that there is a being caring for us that is beyond fallible? Well, we do that by understanding God as transcendent, as God is something that we can't fathom or understand. God is so much greater than anything humans can grasp by being so separate from humans. And yet we believe that same God is the one that is with us every day. Well, how can that both be? How could it be this God who is so separate is the God right here, present? But that's exactly what we think. How can we believe that the God who is perfect and who cannot change also can become a human and suffer and die to conquer the power of sin and death? That sounds like a change. How can both things be true? And really, that's one of the fundamental components of why we think of the Trinity as the Trinity, instead of saying it's just one God with three modes or something like that, is saying, no, a lot of things are held simultaneously. God, who is ever present and greater and separate from us, is here right now with us. God, who cannot be fathomed, is distinctly fathomable. Both things are true. How do we know? How do we fathom and how do we understand all of that? Well, we don't. What we understand are both things are true. That the fullness of God, not just a portion of God, is the God that you experience and work with every day. This is 2 Minutes Together. I'm Pastor Ben.